Hey there! Did you know the two famous motorcycles from this movie were destroyed right after filming ended? Their story is almost as wild as the film itself. Easy Rider is a road trip across America on two wheels, but the journey behind the camera was even bumpier. It's a story of real friendship, real fights, and a movie that grabbed the spirit of a generation and wouldn't let go. I've got secrets to share with you that sound more like campfire legends than Hollywood history. So, get comfortable and let your imagination hit the open road with me. Let's dive in and discover 20 weird and amazing facts about Easy Rider. Number 20. The famous Chopper was a last-minute star. You know Captain America's beautiful star-spangled bike shining under the desert sun? That motorcycle was not ready for the movie's first day of shooting. In fact, it was still being built. The builders, two talented men named Cliff Voss and Ben Hardy, were working on it right up until the cameras had to roll. Imagine the scene: actors in costume, crew ready, the sun rising, and someone is still painting the red and white stripes on the gas tank. They were painting the famous American flag design just hours before Peter Fonda had to write it. The smell of fresh paint filled the air. Everyone was so nervous. What if the paint didn't dry? What if it smudged under Peter's hands? They finished just in time, and that bike rolled into history, becoming one of the most famous symbols in all of movie history. Perfect on screen, almost went wrong behind the camera. Number 19. The script was written on a paper napkin. Well, not the whole script, but the spark that started the fire. Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper were having dinner with a writer named Terry Southern. They were talking about their dream movie, a modern western on motorcycles. Terry Southern listened, and then he did something amazing. He took a paper napkin from the table and started scribbling down the basic story. He drew a long, wavy line across the napkin for the road trip from Los Angeles to New Orleans. Around the line, he wrote little ideas: sell drugs, Mardi Gras, get killed. Simple napkin became the map for their entire adventure. It was a promise, a plan, and a prayer all on one piece of thin paper. From a simple diner napkin to a famous Hollywood film. It looked easy, but it was chaos. Number 18. The opening scene was a real drug deal. The movie starts with Peter Fonda's character, Wyatt, selling a big amount of cocaine to pay for their trip. The white powder you see in the plastic bag? It was not real cocaine, but the actors played it so truthfully that many people believed it was real. Dennis Hopper directed the scene to feel very secret and dangerous. He used tight shots of their eyes and nervous hands. The sound was quiet, just whispers and the rustle of the bag. The actors, Peter Fonda and a real dealer named Phil Spector, felt the pressure of making it look real without using the real thing. Their heartbeats in that quiet room? Probably very, very fast. That wasn't acting. It was real fear. Number 17. Jack Nicholson was not the first choice. The amazing George Hansen, the funny lawyer who joins the trip, was almost played by a different actor. The filmmakers first asked other stars, but they all said no. Jack Nicholson was not a big star yet. He was just a friend who lived near where they were filming. He was known for writing and acting in low-budget biker movies. They offered him the part almost as a favor because they needed someone fast and cheap. He said yes, and his performance, with that silly football helmet and wise smile, stole the whole movie. It was the role that made the world see his genius. It made him a superstar. One small choice changed everything. Number 16. They lived in real fear during the Mardi Gras scene. The final crazy scene in New Orleans during Mardi Gras was a nightmare to film. The crowds were real, huge, and wild. Dennis Hopper and Peter Fonda were actually under the influence of the powerful drug LSD while filming those scenes. Cameras were hidden because they didn't have permission to film in the parade. They were terrified of being arrested or hurt in the crushing crowd. The fear and confusion you see on their faces in the graveyard, talking to statues, is very, very real. It was not a movie set. It was a real scary psychedelic trip. The past lived again through art. Number 15. The famous "We blew it" line was improvised. At the end of the film, around the campfire, Peter Fonda says the famous sad line, "We blew it." He just said it. It wasn't in the script. Dennis Hopper's surprised look and his quiet, "What?" are real. Fonda was feeling the true sadness of their journey in that moment. He looked at their failed dream of freedom, their broken friendship, and those words just came out. That moment of pure, real emotion, captured by chance, became the heartbreaking soul of the entire film. Sometimes the best words, the truest words, are the ones we don't plan. Number 14, the soundtrack was almost very different. The movie's music is legendary. Steppenwolf's Born to Be Wild, The Byrds, Jimi Hendrix. It feels like the heartbeat of the road. At first, they wanted a famous composer to write an original score. They tried it, and it sounded all wrong. It sounded like a normal movie orchestra, not a gritty road trip. So they threw that expensive music away. They decided to use the rock and folk songs they were actually listening to on the road. This was a new and risky idea at the time. The music wasn't just background noise, it was the voice of the characters. It was the sound of freedom. Old tools, new magic. Number 13, the filming was a real road trip. The crew didn't fake it. They really bought motorcycles, got a small bus for cameras, and drove from Los Angeles to New Orleans. They filmed as they went, like a band of modern explorers. If they saw a beautiful desert landscape or a rusty old bridge, they stopped and filmed it. If they met interesting people at a gas station or a farm, they often put them in the movie. Many people you see in the film are not actors. They are real farmers, waitresses, and hippies the crew met along the real American highways. Their real faces and real words made the movie feel true. It looked easy, but it was chaos. Number 12, Peter Fonda's watch tells a secret story. Look closely at Peter Fonda's wrist in the film. He wears a watch with a broken face. The glass is cracked. This was his own idea. He said the crack represented the broken American dream, a dream his character was trying to find. It was a small, quiet piece of his character's inner sadness. He didn't tell everyone on set. It was just his private little piece of the story, a secret message from Wyatt to the audience. Even the smallest details, if you look close enough, held a big meaning. Number 11. The campfire scenes were full of real arguments. Those long philosophical talks around the campfire were not always friendly acting. Dennis Hopper and Peter Fonda were really arguing about life, freedom, and their own crumbling friendship. The tension between them was real and growing every day. Sometimes the crew didn't know if they were filming a movie scene or watching a real, painful fight between two friends who were drifting apart. The anger, the love, the frustration you see is not fake. It is the real sound of a partnership breaking down under the big sky. It looked easy, but it was chaos. Number 10. The famous chopper bikes met a sad end. After the movie became a huge hit, the two main motorcycles were supposed to go to a museum. In a twist fit for the movie, they were stolen from the studio lot. They were taken apart, chopped up, and the pieces were sold. For decades, fans thought they were gone forever, lost to history. The most famous bikes in movie history vanished. It was a sad mystery for a long, long time. What looked perfect on screen was chaos behind the camera. Number 9. The South was not happy with the movie. When the crew was filming in the southern United States, they faced real danger. Their long hair, hippie clothes, and strange motorcycles made many local people very angry and scared. They were yelled at, threatened, and even had rocks thrown at them. The fear of the other America, the suspicion and hatred you feel in the movie, was not acted. The actors were truly scared for their safety while making those scenes. The tension in the diner scene, for example, comes from a very real place. That wasn't acting, it was real fear. Number 8. The food in the diner scene was real and gross. Remember the famous scene where they eat lunch? The food on their plates was real diner food, but it had been sitting under the hot, bright movie lights for hours while they set up the shot. By the time they finally filmed, the food was cold, greasy, and disgusting. Their faces of dislike while eating are completely genuine. They were trying not to be sick while saying their important lines. Sometimes, great acting is just reacting to something really icky. Number 7. Dennis Hopper edited the movie in a crazy way. After filming, Dennis Hopper took all the footage and locked himself away for months. He worked day and night, cutting the film together in a messy, wild, instinctual style. He slept on a cot in the editing room. He barely saw anyone. The studio bosses thought he had gone crazy. They wanted a simple, straight road movie, and he was making a psychedelic, jumpy poem. His wild editing, quick cuts, flashes of color, overlapping sounds, created the movie's famous dreamlike and rebellious feeling. One man's chaotic vision became timeless art. Number 6. The flag on the bike caused big trouble. That beautiful American flag paint job on the gas tank was a big problem. It was actually against the law at the time to use the flag on something you could sit on, like a motorcycle seat. It was seen as disrespectful. The movie got in serious trouble with veterans groups and patriots. Peter Fonda always said it was meant to show love for the country's ideals of freedom, not to disrespect it. But the controversy just made the bike even more famous and talked about. Symbol meant to represent peace and freedom became a symbol of argument and division. Number 5, they almost drowned. Filming the swimming hole scene, the happy free scene where they swim with some women in a natural swimming hole, almost turned into a tragedy. The water was deeper and the current was stronger than it. During filming, Peter Fonda and one of the actresses were pulled underwater by the current and couldn't get back to the surface. Crew members, seeing them struggle, had to jump in fully clothed and pull them out. They came up coughing and gasping for air. The happy, free scene you see was followed by moments of real panic and relief. What looked calm and fun was pure chaos. Number 4. The movie's ending was a shocking surprise to everyone. No one knew about the sudden, violent ending except Dennis Hopper and a very few trusted crew members. He kept it a complete secret until the very end. When the other actors, the producers, and the studio bosses saw the final cut, they were shocked and upset. They didn't expect such a sad and brutal ending. Hopper believed it was the only true way to finish the story. He wanted to show that the beautiful dream of freedom could be killed in an instant by ignorance and fear. That final jarring moment changed how movie endings could feel forever. Number 3. The famous Born to Be wild opening was a lucky accident. The opening credits with Steppenwolf's Born to Be Wild playing as the bikes hit the highway is iconic, but they almost used a different song. They tried many others, but nothing felt right. Not powerful enough, not free enough. Someone, maybe an editor or a friend, just played that Steppenwolf record as a test. The song roared to life. Get your motor running, and everyone in the editing room got chills. It was perfect. It was magic. That lucky last-minute find created one of the greatest and most exciting movie openings of all time. Sometimes you just get born to find the right song. Number 2. Peter Fonda's helmet was a shopping bag. In the strange graveyard scene in New Orleans, Peter Fonda wears a weird white helmet. It looks like something from the future or from a sports game. Know what it really was? A white plastic shopping bag from a local New Orleans store. The art director, desperate for a creative idea, found the bag, painted it white, and glued a clear plastic face shield on it. They were out of ideas and out of money for fancy props. So, a simple, everyday bag became a powerful symbol, an astronaut's helmet for a man who feels like a lost visitor on his own planet. Old tools, new magic. Number 1. The movie cost almost nothing to make. A film that became a cultural earthquake, it cost very little money. The budget was only about $400,000. They used cheap cameras, real locations, and a tiny dedicated crew. They ate cheap food and slept in low-cost motels. But they had a big idea and big, passionate hearts. That small, risky movie, made by friends on a real road trip, ended up earning tens of millions of dollars and defining the hopes and fears of a generation. It proved that you don't need lots of money to tell a raw, honest truth that can change the way people see the world. Bonus fact. Here's a hidden mystery very few people know. In the campfire scenes, if you watch closely, you can sometimes see strange, quick flashes of light on the actors' faces. These little bursts of white are not from the fire. Dennis Hopper had another filmmaker friend, a man named Barry Feinstein, secretly filming parts of the movie at the same time with a small handheld camera. This friend was like a visual ghost, capturing hidden moments. Hopper then cut these secret, blurry, overexposed shots into the final film. He wanted the movie to feel like a stolen, secret documentary living inside the story. He wanted it to feel like a memory, half-remembered and flickering in the firelight. So when you watch, you're not just watching a story, you're watching a hidden, private layer, a ghost of the real journey forever flickering on the screen. One small, secret choice changed the feeling of movie history. So, what is Easy Rider really about? It's more than motorcycles and long hair. It's a sad, beautiful poem about searching for a place to belong in a country that feels both wide open and tightly closed. It's about the courage to be free and the deep sadness when that freedom is broken by the world. These 20 stories show us that the most powerful, lasting art isn't always made with perfect plans and big budgets. It's often made with real feeling, real friends, real mistakes, and a brave willingness to get a little lost on the open road. These secrets are the map to that unforgettable journey. If you enjoyed these stories, subscribe for more. Every movie hides a truth, and we'll keep uncovering them, one story, one secret, one campfire tale at a time. Thanks for riding along. Keep the wind in your hair